Hello? Hi, everyone. I know we're supposed to have everybody, but I gotta introduce everybody, right? Okay, so we're here at Kawaii Kon, the 19th year. How many people have been here all 34 years? Wait, 19 years. How many people remember the very first Kawaii Kon? Nice, 1, 2. None over here. What's wrong with this side? 3, 4, 4. How many people have been here more than 4 times? Kon loyalty, that's excellent. How many people met their best friend at Kawaii Kon? How many people met their spouse at Kawaii Kon? How many people met their emotional support animal at Kawaii Kon? Okay, what is it? Is it a kangaroo? A bird? A bowling ball? A dog?
Furry.
A lawnmower?
Furry.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what, we've got some awesome, talented folks coming up here. How many people have played Trials of Mana? If you've played Trials of Mana, you would know her as Angela. You would know that she went to UCLA. You've seen her all weekend in 3D in her carbon-based form. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Sarah Miller. She's here at Kawaii Kon. If you're a fan of Miraculous Ladybug, you know this individual tries to make things very difficult for Cat Noir and Ladybug. He's done many things, such as Overwatch. He's in Genshin Impact. He lives on planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stage, Keith. You made his hand hurt by coming to his autograph table all weekend, Silverstein. There's one more guest.
My hand's killing me.
He's going to do one-armed push-ups later, even though that muscle group has nothing to do with signing. He just did 5, 10, 15. That's with the conversion rate yen to US dollars. Yeah.
For real.
We're happy to be here. I think that's it. Or we have one more? No, not me. No.
It would be habertastic if there was someone else.
Yeah.
You might know him from Genshin Impact as the one that speaks the least in the form of Razor. You also know him as one of the least known villains in Miraculous Ladybug, but with the coolest name of Kung Food. But also Mr. Pigeon. He taught you that it's okay to have OCD about symmetry in Soul Eater. He taught you that you know what, it's okay to like commoner's coffee. It's okay to feed your twin brother cookies by the mouth in Oron High School Host Club. And he also taught you that that fire in your belly might not be indigestion, but it might be 328 episodes and 2 movies of Fairy Tale. Welcome to the stage, Todd Haberkorn. It's good to see you all, especially on a Sunday. I know the Sundays are very difficult because you tend to go to raves, you go out and you do kooky, crazy, loud things on a Saturday, and then when you wake up, the 9 a.m. that you thought you were going to wake up at turns into 4 p.m. But thank you for fighting that and being here. We've got amazing folks on the stage right now. They're in the amazing business, and I've got amazing things to ask them because the thing is, we really only see each other in the booth, in the trenches, or at conventions like this, where you see us and we see you, and so I want to ask them stuff if that's okay, and maybe that inspires questions for you. And if it does, you can come up to that mic right there, because it's not going to hurt you, and you can move it around and adjust it to your height. That's okay too. It's one of those new mics where you can do that. And we've got an amazing tech crew off to the side here. Let's give a shout out to them, running the boards. All right, very nice, awesome. Very often taken for granted but guess what? All of this stuff, you don't just plant a seed and then 15 years later it turns into a stage. They got to set it up. They got to troubleshoot it. They got to figure out how that cord gets to here and bounces this mic and this close to this speaker doesn't blow your ears out. Anyway, first question, that reminds me. If your house were on fire and you were late to the game, you didn't realize it was on fire until it's about just 30 seconds out. Everything's going to be gone. But you have time to grab one thing from your house before it burns down to the ground and you're fighting with insurance for the next 10 months to get paid back. What is that one item, Keith?
Collectively, my family. Can I count them as one? Please don't make me choose. This is a very tough question. We're going to start off with a Sophie's Choice for you right now.
Well,
which one of your kids are you going to say? You only get one.
You have to choose, and we've got a Zoom feed to your house right now. Sarah, what's the one item for you?
My dog, Remy.
Okay, very nice. It's, yes.
I love that. You get an applause for the dog. Humans are like, that's cool.
There's 8 billion of us, you know.
Sarah's whole family is burning and dying. The dog is saving her life. Right choice.
I live with just my dog. So I'm not leaving, let me just clarify, I'm not leaving anyone. But also maybe they've seen my dog Remy on my streams, maybe.
I like TMZ's gonna come out with an article and be like, she chose her dog over
No.
So if you had to go beyond the living and you can take an inanimate object, what would that inanimate object be and why?
I have a signed picture of Pop from Glitter Force signed by Todd Haberkorn. That would be the first thing I would say.
Listen, glitter's tough to get out of your clothes. It's even harder to get out of an autograph, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sarah, what about you? Inanimate object that you have to bring with you. You've got 15 seconds left because you've used that 15 other seconds to save your doggy. You gotta grab one thing. Inanimate object. Can't say cereal for some reason.
I have a glass, empty perfume bottle that belongs to my grandma.
Okay.
Who passed away, so I would take that.
That's a very cool, unique item that people.
But I would prefer not to have to choose between. I would prefer if there's no fire. Can I choose no fire?
And I have some sour news for you when you get home. That fire.
Todd, are you threatening?
Todd's got arsonists at the ready right now.
Yeah, great. Remember when
I'm gonna need the proof.
I hinted at it with the fire in the belly. You just weren't, you didn't connect the dots. Okay, so if there is one thing in the booth, because you all have been in the booth many times, many hours, thousands of hours behind the mic, watching your own waveforms in front of you in Excel sheets with your lines on them, what would you say is the strangest, in recent memory, the strangest line you've had to say for a project? Could be out, could not be out. Is there one that springs to mind?
The one that springs to mind for me wasn't a dialogue as much as it was a description. I was working on Dragon's Dogma 1, and lots and lots of dialogue, and I got to something that said the next line didn't have a line, but the style, how I was supposed to do it, it said exhibition chicken style. Which made absolutely no sense to me. It has nothing to do with the game. It was illogical, and I think most actors would say, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you want me to do for this loop here. But I was like, which caused immediate panic in the room. Everybody was like, what's going on? Why is he doing? He's lost his mind.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you okay? What is going on right now? And I said, I'm just doing the line. And they were like, what are you talking about? I said, look at the script. And then you saw them all go, all right, we don't know what the hell that is, so we're going to move on past that. I enjoyed it, but only after I explained what the hell I was doing.
Please welcome to the stage, Exhibition Chicken Style! Wow. That's a good band name. Sarah, what about you? Is there something that pops up and you're like, okay, this goes in the bucket of weird things I've had to say?
Probably in Genshin, in the character menu, when the traveler is talking to Paimon, and we were talking about the sumpter beasts, but that area had not, these lines have been released, but the area hadn't been released when we recorded it, and they were like, make a sumpter beast noise. And I was like, that animal doesn't exist in the real world and also doesn't exist yet in the game. And so I just had to make up a noise. And they told me, they said it's like kind of a cow looking thing, but also kind of not at all in any way. And so then I just went like, and they were like, great, perfect. And I was like, I really hope this fits, whatever this creature is.
Did you get a writing credit for that? Because technically, I mean...
Yeah, you should have gotten paid more. You have to make some calls.
Well, they didn't use that for the sumpter beast.
Oh.
I wish that they had taken my and they like put it whenever the sumpter beast showed up, but alas.
Now, speaking of Genshin, because it's a very, you may have heard of it out here, right? Genshin? Are there games that you all are in that you play? Do you play Genshin?
I do play Genshin.
Where's your character at stat-wise?
Okay, so right now I have finished the full Archon quest in Fontaine, which is the most recent region. And I am level 90, Levine. I don't know my stats for my Dendro elements talents. I don't even know that I've even looked at them. But yes, and I don't remember my AR. But I do need to do an Ascension quest. But I'm not going to. I don't want the world to get harder. Because already difficult for me. Well, thank you. But yeah, I've been avoiding doing the Ascension quest, which will make my adventure rank higher because then everything will get more difficult. And recently I tried to fight one of the weekly bosses, Senora, and I was like, I got this. I'm a traveler. I'm really strong. This is fine. I fought her 3 times and lost every single time. And then I was like, you know what? What if I did something else? What if we don't need to do this?
The whole world out there.
Yeah.
Go find some sumpter beasts.
Yeah. It's like, what if we just hang out with the sumpter beasts?
And you find your first sumpter beast and there's a note pinned to it that says, told you they were real.
Yeah, exactly. What about you?
Keith, you play a game that you're in?
Oh man, I've been playing games since games were invented. However, as of late, I have had very little time, so I love a game I can just pick up, play briefly, and put down. I did play a little bit of Genshin. It's amazing, but that's a game that sucks you in, and you just keep playing. And I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this.
You know what they should make?
What?
A Genshin Uno. I just heard this thought right now because you know how they have those packs? They're like they have like Mandalorian Uno, like they have all the packs and they have different cards and different rules.
It's funny you should say that because in my back pocket right now, I have Genshin.
What?
It was in your other jeans.
Yeah, I left it. That was going to be a big reveal. I messed that whole thing up.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Yet another idea Sarah won't be credited for when it comes out this fall. So how many times, both of you, we're in this glorious, legendary island here. How many times have you been here? Just whether recreationally or for the con? Is this your first time at Kawaii Kon? What's the history there for both of you?
So not Hawaii specifically, but Kawaii Kon?
Kawaii Kon, any of the islands? Have you been here before?
I've been here before. I think it was probably my 13th trip or something out to... I've even been here for a hurricane.
That's hard to plan.
I didn't mean to be here for a hurricane, but I was.
Very hard to plan. That's why flights were $4. He's like, that's odd. I wonder what the catch is. He lands, he finds out.
Yep.
And so, do you remember your very first trip? Is it like home? Feel like that feeling of coming home because you've been so many times?
No, my first trip, I never win anything, and for my high school graduation, out of everybody in the high school, I won a trip for 2 here to Hawaii, to Oahu, and I was incredibly excited. I remember at the time I could do it. I did a flip. I literally came down to get in the gymnasium and I did a backflip. I just went, did a backflip, which I could never do. Want to see me die now? No. But I did then.
Not before you show us those Genshin Uno cards.
No,
We don't know where they're at.
not yet. But I ended up taking my older brother. We had a fantastic trip. It was amazing. We went when you could go to Hanawama Bay, and you could go. Remember, you could go around to where the blowhole was and all that stuff. So it was back then, and I did the stupid thing where you dive under and you go under the rocks and pop up here, which is clearly why they closed it, because I'm sure it's a horrible thing to do. But I survived it, and I don't advise anyone does that. I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
You must have done something in your life where you're like, that was so stupid. Thank God I made it through that.
That panel would be the length of the list.
Give us one.
But that's when it was.
Give us one, Todd.
Well, oftentimes people, they wonder how you harvest wisdom. Like, how do you harvest wisdom? Do you plant it and it grows from the soil? How do you get it? Is it from the air collected like, we collect liquid natural gas and stuff like that? No, you harvest wisdom by making a lot of, that dark basement, let me go down in it. And so I would say one lesson that I learned, gosh, I'm trying to think of, I broke a bone. Oh yeah, when I broke my nose, that taught me about gravity. And so, because you don't see gravity, and you're with it so much that you kind of take it for granted. You're like, you know what, like when I was a kid, I was like, I could put a plastic bag around my arms like a parachute, and when I jump off of something high, the air will fill the plastic bag and be my parachute, and I will float to the ground. That's not true, by the way. But I would only learn that wisdom by doing it. But I broke my nose because I wanted to show off for someone in my this production I was doing, and so I decided, let me get gravity out of its vacation early and have it come visit me. So I did a handstand on a stool.
Oh.
And the stool, I held for if you froze that frame, I could hold for a minute. But in reality, I probably held for about 5 seconds. And then the stool came out from under, and I came smashing down on my face from about this high. And it doesn't seem like to an ant, that's eternity, but to a grown boy, that's nose-breaking height. So I learned wisdom through that, so yeah.
The weird thing is, an ant that did that same exact drop would have walked away fine.
Yeah.
Exoskeletons.
That's not fair.
Exoskeletons, get one.
Well, that's why, I was looking into exoskeletons shortly thereafter, and I was told that, you gotta go to, the Columbia and its experimental treatments and stuff like that. But when I was on the plane to go do that, and then I saw that that chicken band was playing that we mentioned earlier.
Exhibition chicken style.
And I rerouted to Panama instead.
Yeah.
So I never got to the exoskeleton treatment. Yeah.
There's still time.
Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna turn. You know who I'm gonna turn this over to? How many people can say that they ran into someone wearing a macaroni and cheese blanket cape? Let's do that right now.
Thank you guys so much. Give it up for Todd Haberkorn over there. Hello, everyone. My name is Allie. I'll be your second host for today. It's a tough act to follow, though. Let me be honest.
Oh, well, there's a structure, and I came in and I interrupted the structure, and I like to keep you on your toes on a Sunday.
I appreciate it.
I like to add to your gray hair.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, as the Hydro Archon of Fontaine, that has everything together, clearly. We're going to start lining up for audience questions, so if you could please go line up at the mic. One of our staff will be listening to your questions, but I'm going to ask some questions to the panelists first to go and get them warmed up while our volunteer goes through it. So, Keith, I actually wanted to ask you a question. You're a father, right, of 2 daughters?
I have 3 kids.
You have 3
One
kids?
son, older son, and 2 daughters.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I was wondering, so you've also played a lot of dad characters I found through your...
This is true. Some of them, one of them is a nice dad. A couple of nice dads. Torben's nice.
So,
He's a good dad.
I wanted to ask you, What do you think a Father's Day party would look like with all of your dad characters plus you there?
Oh man, that would be harsh. I play a lot of really bad dads. There's Gabriel LaGrasse, he's not so great. Oh my God, he's in Sailor Moon. Professor Tomoe is not a good dad, really bad, worse than Gabriel. Persona 5, Masayoshi Shido. There's a lot of not good dads. I don't know, I think it would be kind of a battle between the good dads and the bad. Actually, sign me up. Battle between the good dads. How many would watch that if that was like a live program?
Yeah.
You could watch it. Between the good dads and the bad dads, we're gonna throw them all in a room and watch them all battle.
Battle of the Dads, now streaming on Peacock.
Tamargan, ready Tamarg.
But I feel like if it's a battle of the dads, then like aren't the bad dads gonna do better because they're maybe
Because they cheat?
because they're yeah.
I don't know, Masa.
We gotta
She
give
was
the
a
good dads.
politician.
I can
He
almost.
does have powers thing.
Well,
It would
but
be
you know
bad.
what? The good dads will have you on their side, so they'll definitely.
Yeah, so we would definitely win. The
Yeah.
good dads would win.
I can hear the first like battle attack of like sweater vest, and it shoots out like energy and colorful yarn and
Absolutely.
wraps
Oh my gosh,
around.
amazing.
You guys need to copyright these ideas, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, there's probably a game developer in the audience right now, like, okay, good, sweater vest attack, Peacock, all right.
Todd, I wanted to ask you, one of your favorite roles of mine, I guess a little more obscure though, because it's an older show. What was the vocal direction process like for Bakano, since it's not very often you get to dub those specific accents for anime?
Oh, Bakano. Bakano was a lot of fun. That's a show that, it's a very fast-paced show that is about gangsters and immortality, basically. Do you really need more than that? Gangsters and immortality, you dive right in. So, with that show, I got to do a little bit of a different accent, represent, the New York side of my family. I got family from there.
Really?
Oh yeah, my grandfather was part of the NYPD for 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
And I used to bring him his sambuca when he was, when I was a kid. But if he was a kid, that would be weird. But it was the direction on that was really this was back in the day. This was back when we did single disc releases of shows, so we had more time to work on dubs, and it was a little bit of a different vibe now. At that point, you knew where a show was going. You knew where your character's arc was going. You knew, because now, when you work on shows that are like simul-dubbed, not even the director of the team even knows where the show is going. So your character could start off as like, you're a little caterpillar, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna think like a caterpillar and do caterpillar-y things. But by episode 10, it's like you take your caterpillar mask off and you're a bad dad the whole time, and you didn't know that. And you were like, man, if I had known I was a bad dad disguised as a caterpillar in episode 1, I would have done this differently. So yeah, it was a different process.
I'm always fascinated by the process. That's so cool.
It was cool, and it was a fun show, so if you find it, I'm sure it's out there, somewhere.
Yeah, it's floating around.
eBay,
Somewhere.
one of those,
Oh my gosh. Sarah, I wanted to ask, knowing that this is perfect because I know that you play Genshin.
I do.
Is there a scene in Genshin you would have loved for Lumine to have dialogue for, and what would you have liked for her to have said?
I would have loved if Lumine had dialogue in every scene.
Of course.
Because the traveler really doesn't get to talk that much in the game itself. But no, I feel like they've done a really good job of like letting us. Oh, you know what? Actually, there is one. I was gonna be like, no. They let us talk when we need to, but I would really have liked in the We Are United quest when Lumine sees Ether for the first time. In the game, she's, I think, sort of like shocked and processing, like, what is happening? I wish that they could have a moment where they could talk to each other. So, I feel like, but then also, it was already very emotional, and if we were able to talk to each other, I feel like it would have been even more sad. So, I don't know. Now I'm like, maybe, or would we want to cry or not?
I want to cry.
Yeah, okay.
Crying?
Oh my gosh, so much so. I am a Tepe cosplayer from Genshin, so absolutely.
Oh no! Tepe!
Uh-huh.
Why would you do this to us?
Oh Oh, my favorite character.
Oh
You like creating an onsen for your eyes.
Yes, yes, very much so. All right, well, we have a very long line. I'm going to ask this last general question, and we'll turn it over to the audience.
Can I just say no math questions, please? And we're not, I assume I can speak for the group, we will not cover how does one get into voiceover. Because you can go to iwannnabeavoiceactor.com and get all that stuff. That way we'll get to the nitty-gritty questions. Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
And
cool.
I believe
Man,
that
I'm
our
such a
volunteer
stickler.
has already parsed through to make sure that you guys get specific questions. So thank you, volunteer. Let's get a round of applause for them. So, in line with that, actually, I know that you guys get a lot of questions about how do I become a voice actor? How do I start? I'm actually more interested in what are some of the best ways you guys have been voice directed? Because I believe that Todd also voice directs.
Oh, well, for me, the best type of director interaction that I get personally, because I got my start in theater, it went theater, film on camera, then VO. So I'm used to, obviously there are different approaches that work for different people, but I think what works for me is a collaborative approach in the sense that if you want multiple takes of something, I feel like you're gonna get the best juice from the fruit that is me if I know why. So it doesn't have to necessarily be the why within the story, because you're not, however we get to, basically I look at it like a meal. However we get to that burger, you don't know whether I bought it from another place and repurposed it, or if I made it myself, or if I got my mom to make it and then I said I did it after I knocked my mom out and shoved her into a trunk. You don't know. You just know, hey, there's the burger. So what works for me for that burger is just knowing why we're making it. That's where it's most, because sometimes we've all worked with those directors that come from the land of not directing, and they were just like, you're a live body, get in here right now from 12 to 3. And they're just like, let's get that again, just let's get it again. That, when you see in anime the little circly eyes, that's what gives me the circly eyes. If you're like, let's get it again because there was a tech in it, there was a little noise that you hit the mic, I'll do it all day. If it was like, you said it too loud, the character's actually right next to you, great, got it, cool. I need a GPS. So when I direct, I try to do that, but then also model it with what works for Keith, or what works for Sarah, or what works for a Tony, or what works for a Vinny. I don't know why Vinny's in there. He told me he was just going to wait in the car. But, so that's how I kind of approach it, I feel like.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's always good to know.
Yeah, I worked on something last week that I had been cast on without an audition. So I'm coming in, I've had the script, I have some ideas for this character, and I go in and the director's there, and when we get to that character, that part, I could tell he was going to say some stuff about the character, and then he was like, you know what, let's see what you got. So I did what I had worked on for the character, for what I knew. I had the whole script, I'd read through it and everything. And I think for that was a great thing to do, as opposed to telling me immediately, putting me in a box. Let's see what Keith has had a week with this. Let's see what he's doing with it. And then they went from there, and they were able to redirect that performance. And I probably kept about 80%, 85% of what I did for the character continued on into that character. It was just some tweaks for lots of different reasons. And I really respected and liked that you gave me the opportunity to be creative, because you never know what the actor's gonna bring. So as soon as I tell you, you have to be the XYZ for this character, you might have these great ideas that you're now, okay, well, I won't do that then. That seemed cool. I thought the character was like this, but I won't tell them that now. And it limits what we're gonna throw at you. So I like, you said collaborative, and that it was in a way very collaborative. Let's see what you got. You had a week with this, and not in a like, let's see what you got kind of a way. Like, we're curious, you've had it. Let's start with that before we give you anything, and then and it did. It felt very much like we were all there doing the same thing. Like, let's get the best thing we can for this character. So there's a bit of freedom. I don't want to. Once you like pluck our wings off too much, I think we're not as creative for most actors. As soon as you go, no, too many times, it make us feel like, oh, okay, well, what do you want? I want exactly this, and okay. And now I'm being smaller, and I'm just giving you something that's not as interesting. So it may come to that. But at least give us the chance to be creative to start, because all my favorite sessions of my favorite directors also are very excited about the project. That's another thing I want to say real quickly. If I come in on the project and you're like, yeah, we're doing this thing, it's like this, and it's another one of those JRPG things, then I'm not excited. I'll still do my job, but if I come in and like, this is cool, I don't care if the game's really cool, to be honest. I don't care if in the end it's the worst game ever made. I want to be excited about it while I'm making it to give it the best shot ever. Because then I'm excited, this is going to be awesome. It doesn't matter if it's really not awesome in the end. But I do appreciate excitement, and I appreciate having room to stretch and try new ideas.
Yeah, I feel like building off of that, one thing I love about voiceover is that a lot of times we are given that space to like play more. So like we'll do some takes, and then sometimes we can say like, hey, I have this wild idea. Like, can I just try this thing? And a lot of times, it depends on the project. Some dubbing projects is like, no, we haven't done that, we have to go, sorry. But a lot of times they'll be like, yeah, you know what? Let's see what you thought of in your head. And I like that there's that like collaborative element to it. I feel like when I was recording for Trials of Mana, especially with Angela, that was one of my first big games. And I think that helped me not be so intimidated, was that the director would always be like, is there something you wanted to try? And I'm like, yeah! And so if you've played Trials of Mana, you'll know that Angela, when she jumps, she goes, and that was something that I just was like, I just feel like she's so cute and precious, and she's a princess, I feel like she would do this. And I feel like it helps us bring like our own unique self to the project when we are allowed that space to like play and try and be creative, and so yeah, I think that's what makes being a voice actor so great.
Oh my gosh, that's such an amazing thing. I'm writing notes now. All right, well, we're gonna turn it over then. I think everyone's sufficiently warmed up to our audience questions. So we have a very long line, so just be mindful of the time, please, as we get into this. So first question, what do you got?
Right. Hi.
Hi!
So yesterday at one of the panels with Erica and Lizzie, someone asked the question of why boys in anime are sometimes voiced by girls. And they gave the answer that girls get to keep their higher voices while boys don't once they go through puberty. So I was going to ask if you all could do your best pubescent boy voice.
Pubescent boy? Keep in mind, this is after a weekend of doing voices and talking over the crowds.
But if I'm skipping puberty, I would be somewhere around here. Hey, everybody, you guys want to go outside and play? Did you see what Cheryl was wearing today? It's great.
Oh, okay, let's see. Mom! Stacy's stealing my Cheerios!
I'm very bashful. And so when I'm directing this show right now called Hello Neighbor, and it's based on the video game series Hello Neighbor. Please check it out. It's on YouTube right now if you want to see. But I play also one of the characters named Ivan, who's a middle schooler. And he sounds a little something like this. Hold on.
Goodbye, Todd.
Alright, so we're gonna go to the Avengers Club, and we gotta figure out why Mr. Peterson's doing all this crazy crap around town. And I wanna help too, because I've got lots of inventions that I think might work.
Todd always records under a table.
Yeah?
I don't know why I can tell you that. He tells me so much, but that's just a little known fact about Todd. But now you've seen it.
That was me.
Yeah,
That was me in Japan when I had to record auditions and stuff. It's like finding you create your own little area to record in. My back hurts after that because it was like constant every day recording like that every day for a couple hours. Yeah. So this was better because I actually got to stretch out under here. There's a mini bar with there's that Kona coffee. It's already brewed. Do you want to?
I already had one.
Oh, okay, well, we'll let it sit. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's good. We're off to a good question. Good start.
Hi, you look amazing.
Oh, thank you. So as your dedicated compilation editor, I just want to ask, what do you plan to do for your next Genshin stream?
Ooh, I don't know.
I hope it's Nuvolette and Farina's story quest.
Ooh, yeah.
But I'll donate some money if you do Lenny's story quest and Lynette's hangout.
Ooh, okay, I don't know. I have to look and see what character quests like are more relevant to the story and how long they are. But I am thinking for my next Genshin quest, or sorry, my next Genshin stream, that I'm going to play a character story quest. I'm just not sure which one. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. But it'll be something. And I'm thinking since we just did Fontaine, the Archon quest, it will be a Fontaine character.
Ooh, I'm
So,
excited.
yeah. Stay tuned for that.
I'm excited for that.
On a special episode of Bad Dads, Fontaine discovers a new journey. Get your free trial at peacock.com. 7-day free trial, cancellation process.
Yes, thank you for the question. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So, knowing that you guys have voiced many characters throughout your career, I was going to ask if there were any voice lines that were harder to say than others, or you just didn't want to say in general.
Ooh, we didn't want to say in general. But yes, some voice lines are tongue twisters. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's really hard. And sometimes they're not tongue twisters, but for some reason it becomes a tongue twister.
Yeah, or you
I know we've all had lines. Yeah, for right that
All of a
moment,
sudden.
you're like, I don't even know what's wrong with this line. It seems pretty straightforward. I just can't say these 3 words together. Can we change the order? Because that's 5 takes.
Yeah.
I can't do it. But yeah, there's some, and like I know for Genshin Impact, it was getting like that. Liu. Like saying it the right way was really, and you'd be like, I swear I said it right. Like, no, you didn't. No,
You're
no.
like, and they'll say it, and then you say it, and they're like, no, and you're like, but I feel like I said exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but you didn't. You just think you did.
You know what's so interesting about that though, is that there's, and maybe I don't know, but in situations like that, that'd be like going up to, you know, my mom, who has an accent, and she says like oil, but she says oi. And being like, that's wrong, that's not how you say that. Well, that's how she says it in her accented form, maybe.
Of course.
So then it's like in a situation like that, maybe your character has an accent in a way that says that in that way, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, one could argue that. I think that Mihoyo was arguing that we want it said a certain way, so it's consistent for everyone. So I understand that, of course. But
Well, like the way I say roof, sometimes people say roof, but they're both right.
That's true.
or right, I say strength. I don't say strength.
Yeah, but they're both right. But
They're both right. But
Yeah.
I've had directors. It's funny because you learn things you say. Or sometimes you don't realize you say strength
Yeah.
right? Until you do it, and the director's like, "What word did you just say?" And you're like, "Strength."
Like I said.
That's not the way you say that word. You're like, "Oh, say it for me." They go, "Strength." And you're, "Oh, strength." And it's easy to switch, and then I can do it. Or like catch versus catch. There are things like that, and sometimes you get a director that really cares. It's not worth, for me, it's not worth the battle. Unless I'm battling, I've already used this for 4 seasons, and that's the way I've said it.
Right.
I'd rather be
Right.
consistent. But if it's not that situation, then I'm like, absolutely, I will catch the ball. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I feel like, at least for me, it was saying, or tris mechanique d'analyse cardinal.
What is that?
And that was difficult. Why? No, obviously. But that was almost meant to be, I'm sure.
I had a term. I was working on this project that was based in Welsh, the Welsh language, which is very difficult. And one of the towns that I would have to say is Fleer the Mothless. And you try looking at what that's spelled like,
Yeah.
that ain't easy.
Yeah.
But lots of names like that. And so I was like, oh man, because I took Arthurian history in college, and you had to learn how to read in Welsh. And like, you know, so it's like, you know,
Cool.
night in Welsh is said caniste and stuff like that. So you had to learn all that kind of stuff. So I had to like dust it off and open it up and see if it was in 4K because it's been a minute. And yeah, that was tough. That was tough. What about you? What was there a word you learned where you're like, this is a hard word? Is this what English is?
Honestly, probably oratories mechanique.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Nice.
Thank you so much
Very
for the
nice.
question.
Before you ask your question, I got a question for you.
Oh.
What's one thing you've done in the past 30 days that you are proud of?
Coming here, of course.
Nice. Thanks for putting in the effort.
Of course.
Or as they say in Mihoyo, effarate. What's your question?
So since you guys all played like Genshin characters, what's your like favorite voice line to say or like combat line?
Ooh.
Favorite line, right?
Yeah, favorite line.
Yes.
Yes.
I switch because you hear them a lot, but I generally like, this is an age of gods and monsters. I wish not for dominion, yet I cannot watch the common folk suffer.
I think my favorite line is one of them is the Abyssinian line, which is, home is wherever we are together.
My favorite line is,
Bye, Todd.
You made Lucy cry. Now I've got to kick your ass.
wait, sorry, that's a different world. My favorite line is,
This tastes good. Thank you for these potatoes.
Okay, now life sounds so much creepier when you're under a table.
hit the lights.
I have lots of jokes that I'm refraining from. No thanks.
It involves math. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Okay, I got a question for you.
What joke was I refraining from?
What show have you watched more than twice?
So later,
How many times have you watched it?
like 5 times.
Excellent.
Nice. That's a hefty amount of minutes. That takes some gumption. Nice. Very nice. What's your question?
I just wanted to ask if you've done anything fun this weekend while you've been in Hawaii.
Keith Silverstein, have you done anything fun this weekend?
Well, all my breaks have been to get really some food, right? That's the main thing. I did take a nice walk to get breakfast on Friday morning, which was very cool. But everything's been kind of cool. We had a nice dinner last night. That was really cool. But honestly, why I come to cons, when I'm at a con, I mean, meeting all of you, like everybody coming by, I mean, that is the greatest thing. That's the thing that is nowhere else. I love Hawaii, and I'll be here again many times when there's a con or when there's not a con. But I can walk down the street anywhere. But it's getting to meet a collection of people that all have a passion and a love for these projects that we've all worked on is an amazing thing. So that, hands down, is the most fun thing this weekend for me. Plus, it was cool when Todd went under the table.
Yes, also meeting all of you for sure, because you're all amazing, so thank you for showing up. And I'm here with my real life twin brother and our friend, and we actually, before the con, on Thursday, I don't remember what day, but we actually went and we hiked and we did the Cocoa Head. Yes. So we did that hike and it was very challenging, but very fun, and the view was beautiful. So it's been a wonderful time being here. It's so beautiful, and also again being here with all of you.
Yeah, I think where that comes from is the fact that if you think about it, there's anywhere on the planet that you could be this weekend. You get one of these weekends forever. That's it. Yeah, 2025 will come around, but this specific weekend for 2024, that's it. This is it. And so you could be anywhere, but we're right here together in this little ecosystem that is only going to exist for this weekend, and we get to be a part of that, and we get to synergistically all, get energy from each other, and that's pretty badass when you think about the background the backdrop, the ocean and the little fat pigeons that walk around. They look like they've all got dead head because their hair is all like that, and it's unique. It's very unique because that's it. We're here, and until AI replicates Keith, he can only be in one spot at one time. And that's it.
That's 3 weeks from now, by the way.
Yeah. OpenAI just sent me the update. Yeah. But yeah. So go work on the 6th time of Soul Eater, and hopefully we'll have season 2 for you. In fact, would you guys like to see a clip of season 2? I don't have it. But thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let us all know that unfortunately time flies and we are at our last 10 minutes of this panel.
You know what the sound is? When it flies, when time flies, it sounds like a TIE fighter. I have you now.
Let's just speed round.
Yeah, so I would say...
Come on, kid, blow this thing. Let's go home.
Okay, so since Todd and Keith have been here before, and maybe this is Sarah's first time in Hawaii, what are some local foods that you guys have enjoyed or you really like to eat when you're here or when you're going to try?
Local foods.
The best thing I had this trip was actually a brisket sandwich. I'm not sure where it was from that they brought. It was insane.
Lady in the Pig. Yeah,
that makes sense. Oh my God, it was so good. And I didn't even have it all the way hot, and it was still amazing. That was the best thing I had.
What about you, Sarah?
I'm not really good at speed questions, I'm realizing.
When you were hiking, you remember you killed that snake and you cooked it and ate it?
That's right, yeah, exactly.
My food establishment is very animal friendly. So I eat plant-based things, right? And so I guess the best thing for me is always some delicious fresh fruit, pineapple, no papaya, please. I can't do it. No passion fruit. Oh my Lord, no, please no. But all the other fruits I'm down for. So that's been always amazing.
Yeah. Also noms. I like noms.
Noms, yes, and of course the delicious chocolate that's been coming to the table.
Yes.
It's been Is it? And again, I ask: is it okay to eat the whole box in one sitting?
Yes.
We've done it. I'm so sorry, Sarah, if you haven't tried it. Also, try to get them at Walmart. It's like $24.99 for 6.
There we go.
Yay! Thank you.
We're on our way.
I always recommend malasadas. They're like donuts.
The malasadas are awesome.
I didn't have one.
Leonard's.
But they are great.
Been there since 1950s. Take that mic
Here it is.
and hit us with that question.
Since Subaru, Lumian has been getting more lines as a traveler. How does it feel to be able to have more lines and talk in dialogue?
Oh, it's so exciting. And whenever I'm playing the game and I finally hear her speak, I'm like, yes, she is speaking! The Fontaine voice lines were especially awesome to hear. I won't say more because I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't played it yet. But yeah, I feel like anytime I hear her talk, even though I did record them, so I do know they're coming. But anytime I hear them, I'm just like so excited and happy. So maybe we'll get more in the next region. Who knows? Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, this is a question for Keith.
Hello.
I would like you to do the Osmanthus my voice line as Torbjorn.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
How you doing, guys? I guess, what are some of or at least the most valuable skill or nuances that you've discovered over your careers that you feel like are the most valuable that you use to this very day?
Learning the balance between being inspired by something you see versus being competitive with it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to torture yourself in the competition game because all you can control is yourself. So why would you want to compete with something you have so little control over? Like, I can't control the fact that, Keith's house is on fire. He's got to deal with that. So,
I would probably say the ability to improv and also just like not be attached to maybe an idea of a character that I had when I came into a project and just be ready for a change wherever it comes.
I very frequently, before I go into a session, I agree with myself that no matter what, I'm going to have a fantastic time. So I'm not stressed. And I go, this is gonna be fun, it's gonna be fantastic, it's just gonna be a good time, and no matter what, you're gonna walk out of it and go, that was cool, I had a good time. And that helps, I mean, literally to do it right before I go in. And I still will remind myself before pretty much every session.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, but
Well, Todd's nervous too, don't worry. Me, I'm just having a good time, I reminded myself.
if there's a, would you consider making real life dishes from like a Genshin game? And if you were, what kind of region would you do? Since like each region has its own like dishes.
Ooh, definitely. If I could make Genshin dishes, I would. I would want to make any of the recipes that have slime in them because I just want to know what that could possibly taste like.
Slime's on sale at the ABC store at the Grand Waikiki, just FYI, but yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what. I mean, there's a lot of food. I mean, there's pizza. There's pizza in Genshin, so we technically all have had Genshin food.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Definitely something
Yeah, I'm
that's
not tempted to make it, but if somebody, made it for me and it smelled good, I would eat it. That's where I come in.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
You're like, I don't want to make it, but I will.
I don't want to make it.
I'll be the kitchen. I'll be the magician in the kitchen. I'll make it disappear. But in terms of what's made, just as long as it's plant-based, I'm in.
There it is.
Apparently, if you were to go to Japan, there is like some collab cafes where like they attempt to like recreate the Genshin dishes.
I wish I had talked to you.
That's cool.
I just got back from Japan. I wish I had talked to you before then.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't have this room together before then, but yeah.
I'll hope to one day go there and taste that food, because that sounds awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Thank you for your question. We'll look out for your dish.
Yeah, have a nice day and happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Hello, Mike. My question is, have you received your underage Chihu yet?
Your what?
What is?
Your honorary Chihu.
Oh, Chihu.
Oh, yes, I did my Chihu yesterday.
Have you too? Have you too?
I love it.
That's all I asked for now.
Oh, thank you.
That was great.
That was awesome. Hi. You look
I'm
amazing.
so sorry. We're at our last 4 minutes, just to let our voice actors know.
Thank you.
So since I know Sarah and Erica host the Genshin VA Among Us streams every month, my question is actually for Keith and Todd, which is, why haven't you guys joined yet, and will you consider joining those streams in the future?
I would always consider it. It's always a balance of all the things we're doing. We all have stuff around the house to do, working, parenting, traveling for cons. So it's usually that kind of thing. Like if I'm traveling and I have cons on the weekends, and then I have a night free that I can do it on Wednesday night, and I tell my wife, I know I'm only here 3 days this week. Do you mind if I spend 3 hours doing this thing? She's like, yeah, if you want the divorce papers this week. So sometimes it's striking that balance. It would be fun. I mean, I would love to do it, but I feel bad. Sometimes I'm like, I can't do it.
Everyone's so busy.
Because I love Magic the Gathering, and I have a group that we get together and play, and that hasn't happened in 7 weeks. Do you know what I mean? So I'm saying even the things that I'm trying to do to get, it's like, no, don't stop, I need violins and stuff, but I'm just saying, I make my own choices. But that's why it's hard to do an interview here or to do that thing there for me.
Yeah. Same thing. It's like, you have your health meter is only so big, and you can only take so many hits to it before you're just dead, and you're not able to grab the one thing from your house as it burns down.
I get my Black Lotus. No, sorry, I still get my kids and my wife. I'm sorry.
But you tell the kids to hold on to the Black Lotus, so you can kind of loophole it. But yeah, no, always. It's always fun to collab and do things like that. It is literally just trying to find the time. Like, I sometimes will send out a link to a friend to say, pick a date on this calendar within the next 6 months when we could grab one lunch. It's pretty gnarly.
I've been meaning to tell you I have to cancel that lunch. That's over, yeah.
Well, I have a feeling that when you get home, something might not work out in terms of fire in your house. But thank you for your question.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, you three. One question. What is a local food you want to take on the plane?
A local, you know what? A pet chicken. Because because you didn't say you had to eat it. So I'm going to take that local food and give it a home and a little saddle. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Right on. Oh, and you do?
Well, I know I am taking the chocolate covered macadamia nuts home. That is actually happening.
I know I'm taking noms home, so that is actually happening. But I would want to bring like lots of yummy fruit, but I feel like you're not allowed to do that. So I'm not going to do that, but if I can get the...
Well, you might be able to get them on the plane.
I could eat them. I could eat them all. I'll just bring like a whole huge thing and I have to eat all of it.
You ate, and they do a scan, they're like, you're hoarding pineapples, not in my bag. And they point to your stomach, we gotta get it out.
Understandable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your brand new contract.
You and I have a contract, yes.
What did COVID do to your career?
What did COVID, how did it change the career? How did it change the path of everything with VO?
Such a weird. Well, first off, COVID was horrible. I mean, it was a terrible time, and it was difficult for so many people. If you're really specifying your career, the odd thing with voiceover, entertainment sometimes has the power to move on because everybody still wants to be entertained during these times. So I think it actually, a lot of people were home and they were like, what's this anime thing you've been telling me? What's it called? Anime? Oh, anime? I'll watch some. And I think a lot of people started watching anime that didn't during COVID time, and as a result, and not exclusively because of COVID, but as a result of that, I think anime and some of the pop culture things are a lot more popular now among more people. Now, it feels weird to say we benefited in some way from that. It wasn't done by choice. Of course, I wish COVID had never happened. But if you're really asking the question, as per our careers, we were able to record at home. Technology advanced so that we could record from studios and be home. And now we have that option, which is nice sometimes. And that's how it's kind of affected stuff. I mean, if you're talking business-wise.
Yeah.
It's weird, but
That's a great answer.
yeah, I hope I phrased it in a way. I mean, I'm not happy about it happening, but that, yes, there were some positive things because of the technology advances and because people sat at home and watched all these anime shows.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to have to squeeze in this last question. We are officially over time, but we'll get this last one in.
I just want emotional from me. Through my career, I lost my voice multiple times yelling at unfortunate people in the military. Do I have a chance to be a voice actor when I've lost my voice, like throughout my 10-year career in the military?
Well, I will say one thing. You say you lost your voice, but we're literally hearing you right now.
The range.
But we don't, the thing is you do have range. You may not have the same range, but you have a range. And I think that just figuring out, it's hard to answer that question in terms of do you have a career in it, because that's like going to the doctor and saying, fix me. And it's like, well, what's wrong with you? Is it broken? Are you sick? Do you have a tummy ache? We don't know enough about you to say that, because I don't want you to say like, Todd said I could do the career, and then you gave up everything to go do it, and then it's like, you're like Steve Buscemi from Big Daddy, and then you're coming trying to snipe me. But you're probably pretty good at that, by the way, because you're in the military, right? You know how to use a sniper rifle. Please don't do that to me.
No problem.
But yeah, I would say that you do have a voice, and I think that it's getting a good self-awareness about what your capabilities are, and instead of kind of like what Keith was saying earlier, instead of putting yourself in a box and closing the door to something, see what the possibilities are in the room that you're in. And maybe you'll find that you do have a little bit more flexibility and ability than you might have originally thought.
A lot of people have VO careers and they don't make lots of different voices. They just do themselves.
You don't have to be the best. Just be your best. Like, look at McDonald's. Is that really the best burger in the world? But it's billions and billions sold. Right? So you don't have to be the best. Be your best.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just have to sound like you, because the most important thing that you bring when you are voicing a character is yourself. So just be you.
Good luck.